Boy, it's hard to believe it's already been a year since the last time we sat by the fire and had a little New Year's chat. Let me get my stool. This is a stool my buddy Mark made for me as a gift. It's a cool stool, and I want to talk about it a little bit more before this video is over. So with 2022 coming to an end and 2023 right around the corner, I thought I would talk a little bit about what I had planned for 2022 and what we actually accomplished here on the Black Bear Forge YouTube channel and what I accomplished and learned in the blacksmith shop in general. Now, I really had two main goals here in the shop for the past year. One of those goals was to step away from customer product, the repetitive work like holdfasts that I sell retail, and shift my priorities more to making YouTube videos here for you. And that's something that I was actually able to do pretty well. I cut way back on making this kind of stuff, put more of my time and effort into making videos. Unfortunately, part of what I learned from that is that making products for paying customers is a much better way to earn a living as a blacksmith than making YouTube videos. Making videos worked out. I was able to pay the bills, didn't starve to death, but I certainly had to put more hours into it than I would have if I was just making the repetitive customer projects. And the other thing that I really wanted to do with regard to the videos is move more to projects that really challenged me, really special projects, get some of those things done that I've always wanted to do in blacksmithing. And since I wasn't trying to sell things to customers, that meant I could do those things as part of the videos, share those ideas, share that process with you, and let you join me on my journey as a blacksmith. Unfortunately, that didn't really work out so well. I found that my commitment to get a video out every week took precedent over making the things that I really wanted to make, and that I was more likely to choose a video topic based on what I could get done in the time allowed so I could get it uploaded for the next week, and then move on to the next video. And that didn't really allow for the time I needed to really explore those projects that I would like to explore. There's so many things in blacksmithing I would like to do. This year I'm going to be 65 years old, and if I don't get busy on those things, I may never get them done. Hope to have another 20 or 30 years in the blacksmith shop, but you just never know at this point. I think it's worthwhile to point out a little bit of my history and why I make YouTube videos. I started blacksmithing 38, 39 years ago now with my first anvil. Just a hobbyist, no intent whatsoever to make a living at it. But slowly that evolved, and I started to discover that if I made it a little bit more business oriented, I could afford to buy new tools, new equipment, pay for the materials, the fuel that I was using in the shop. Now, the YouTube channel I started about 10 years ago, wasn't really doing anything with it. It was just an excuse to upload the occasional cell phone video because I had a cell phone that made videos, and that was cool. But at some point I decided that sharing my journey here on YouTube with my potential customers might help them decide whether or not they wanted to do business with me. So it was really a marketing tool at that time. Didn't take long for me to figure out the people watching the videos were not my potential customers or clients. It was you, my blacksmithing peers, and people that wanted to learn more about blacksmithing. So with that in mind, I started making videos more targeted for blacksmiths and people that wanted to learn blacksmithing. But even then, my primary goal was to share my journey as a blacksmith. It wasn't really my intent to become an instructor and just present novice and beginner blacksmithing topics. I intended to share what I was really working on and the way that I was really doing it. But people started asking for better descriptions, more information about this tool or that tool. Why did I do this? Why did I do that? And pretty quickly, the YouTube channel evolved into what you have seen the last few years. It's been about 6 years now that the YouTube channel has been making videos as a part of my blacksmithing business. And currently there are over 270,000 subscribers here on the YouTube channel. Statistically, it looks like about 60% of my views come from non-subscribers. So there's over 300,000 people that aren't subscribed that regularly come back and watch the videos. So that's well over 500,000 people that occasionally watch some of my videos. And it becomes really hard to know what all those people want. I get lots of comments, and they are at complete opposite ends of the spectrum. Some people only want to see what I do as a blacksmith. They want to see power hammers, presses, advanced techniques. They don't want to hear me talk about what I'm doing. They just want to see how I work. And then there's those of you who want very detailed instruction. You've got very simple shops. You want to see me do things the way that you think you would do it in your shop. Unfortunately, the only person that I really know what they want, the only person I know what tools, equipment, skills they have, the only person that I know what they're trying to do in blacksmithing is me. And I can't second guess over 500,000 people every single week on these videos. So my goal for the upcoming year is to show those things I'm truly interested in and let the work dictate what the video is going to be instead of the need for video dictating what the work is going to be. The style of video may or may not change. I have no idea. Things evolve as we go. But I want to make those projects that I'm passionate about. I want to explore things that there may not be customers lined up to pay for, and I want to satisfy my curiosity on a lot of different projects. And there are a few things that have happened lately that kind of push me in this direction. For one thing, I decided October, November, December to hit the videos extra hard. The summer was over, all the outdoor chores were done with, there wasn't any snow on the ground to plow, and I had time to spend in the shop making a few extra videos. Those are pretty simple, straightforward videos, and unfortunately, they did quite poorly, and I feel like it kind of drug the channel down in general. Some of you really enjoyed them, I understand that, but overall, they weren't attracting the viewers. People weren't watching them for as long as they were watching some of the other videos, and I realized that the quantity approach really isn't working anymore. At one point, when you start a YouTube channel, you got to do a lot of quantity. In fact, that's true in blacksmithing as well. The more S-hooks, fireplace pokers, tent stakes, stake flippers, things like that you make, the better you're going to get faster. But at some point, you have to shift and make the quality of the product more important than how many things you're making. And that's when you really start to learn. And that's where I need to be. Now, this angle iron candle holder is a good example of what I'm talking about. When I set out to make this, I was going to make a set of 3 of these in different sizes and talk about the Fibonacci series and how that can help design different heights for things like this and make for pleasing proportions. But the time allotted to make the video only allowed me to make one, and I have not made the other 2. In addition to that, as I made this, there were lots of different ideas that I had, different design things that I might want to do, different approaches to doing this, and there's probably a dozen different variations of this project that I would still like to do. But if I'm making weekly videos, I can't do that. I need to devote 3, 4, maybe even 6 weeks just to trying all those different things out and seeing where it takes me to satisfy my curiosity as a blacksmith. And while some people might want to watch multiple videos on that, the vast majority of viewers don't. So it doesn't do me any good to make videos like that. And it really takes a lot longer, it takes 3 or 4 times longer to do a project if I'm making a video about it. And that doesn't include the time to edit. Then my buddy Mark shows up one day with this great stool. Now, some of you may remember that I used to have a lathe sitting over by the wall. I never really used it that much. I wasn't very good with it. There was a lot to learn that I didn't have time to pursue. I had originally got that lathe from Mark, and I gave it back to him, and I think he appreciated it so much that he made me this stool. Now, what does that stool have with my work in my shop? Well, it's just an example of what you can do if you just take the time to have fun in the shop. Now, Mark was between projects. Typically, he works on big architectural projects. He's doing railings and things like that. And he was between clients, between jobs, whatever, and he had some time on his hands, and this is what he made. So he spent 2, 3 weeks working on this, designing, making the pieces. He even upholstered the seat on this. I gotta move away from the stove, it's getting hot. And this kind of thing only happens if you give yourself that kind of time. You have to allow the process to unfold, you have to explore the possibilities, you have to let your creativity flow, and that doesn't work if you're always under a time crunch. And unfortunately, weekly videos are sort of a time crunch. Trying to make customer product is sort of a time crunch. So all of this stuff has to kind of balance out somehow. Then I started a video that I thought was going to be for Christmas Day. I started working on a set of fireplace tools. I figured I would just present one tool. My plan was to present the shovel as part of that video, but not only did I run into some problems that I needed to deal with, and it was going to get hard to get the shovel done in that amount of time, I also realized that this is not a complete project from my perspective anymore. This needs to be a shovel, it needs to be a poker, it needs to be a stand, it needs to be the completed project that then I can sell to a customer and hopefully make some money, even though the incentive for doing this isn't the customer sale. The incentive is, I wanted to try this. I had this handle idea in my head and I needed to see where it would go, and I wanted to try different things. I'm on to 3 or 4 different versions of the shovel at this point. And I've done a poker, but I haven't done the stand yet. Hopefully I'll get that done this week, and this will be next week's video. And I think moving into 2023, that's the kind of schedule we need to look at. I'm going to take the time to do the project, try all the variations, figure out what it is that shows best on camera, maybe talk about some of those other variations so you have an idea of where I went and what I was thinking. But mostly I need to explore all of the possibilities, get the project finished, and then present it here on YouTube as a video. To some extent, that even applies to these little strap hinges we made a few weeks ago. It would be great to put these on some sort of a chest or a simple cabinet, something like that, and really have a finished project instead of just the hardware for the project. But time doesn't allow for me to do that. So for 2023, I'm not going to try to commit to weekly videos. 1 video per month might be more in line with what I'm going to be able to do. But I'm going to do projects that I'm really interested in. And I'm going to try and balance those projects with the need to make some money through customer sales, what I really want to do, and what makes a video. And sometimes those will all 3 be the same thing. I've got about 24 axes that I've started over the years that I've never finished. That will make 1 good video to make 1 of the axes. But the rest of them I just need to get done and I need to sell, and that's something I want to do. I want to be better at making axes. So I'll do 1 of those. In fact, that'll probably be the video after the fireplace tools, and it'll just take however long it takes for me to get those axes done. But then I'll have axes to sell on the Etsy shop, and that will bring in some income that is lost by not making videos. Now that's a little bit rambly and kind of goes here and there, but hopefully you get the idea what I'm thinking and where I plan to go in 2023. Now I will certainly be making fewer videos here on Black Bear Forge, but I'm not going to quit making videos. I hope to be making videos for many years into the future. Black Bear Forge 2, the second blacksmithing channel, might get the occasional little simple video if I just need to explain the difference between a fuller and a swedge, or maybe there was something about one of the projects that needed a little bit of clarification and it's a video that I can film in a couple of hours, get edited, get uploaded. I'll put those really simple videos over on the Black Bear Forge 2 channel. And if there's content that makes good YouTube shorts, I'll put that over there on that channel. But my main effort, my main video commitment will still be here on the Black Bear Forge channel. But I also have a 3rd channel, the John Switzer channel. It's a vlog channel. It is where I talk about the things that I'm just doing in my life in general. So if I'm not here in the blacksmith shop and I'm working on projects around the property, like the little homestead cabin up the hill, those things will be presented on that personal channel, the John Switzer channel. And if you're interested in seeing some of that stuff, I'll put a link over here to one of the videos talking about the little homestead cabin, and you can get an idea of where that project's going. Anyways, I want to thank everybody that has supported the channel, each and every viewer, whether you're a subscriber or not a subscriber. By the way, it doesn't cost anything to subscribe to a YouTube channel. It's just clicking that button, and then YouTube knows that you might be interested in my stuff, and they're more likely to recommend it to you. But there's also the option of becoming a channel member, which helps fund the videos, or becoming a Patreon patron, which helps fund the videos. Patreon patrons get ad-free versions of the videos, so you don't have to put up with the annoying ads. So that's a little bonus for them. But whether you're a Patreon patron, a channel member, a subscriber, or just stop by every now and then to watch the videos, I really appreciate the support. I hope each and every one of you have a happy and prosperous new year. We'll see you for the next video.